Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to yet another episode of the FPV Livestream. I'm sorry to hear that the sound was not working the last bit of that. If you want to see any of those videos, you can just pop over to my YouTube channel, and they should all be there. Welcome to this very special episode of the FPV Livestream, where we're going to build a DRL Racer 3. The Racer 3 is the ship that the DRL pilots are flying this year, is what we are going to be building right now, tonight, on the live stream. It actually shouldn't take very long because it's actually built to be mass-produced, so it's actually really easy to assemble. So, enjoy. All of the details of the build are in the description below, and I'll kind of give an overview of it as we go. Thank you so much for stopping by. I would love it, because I'm really excited about this episode. I would love it if you have the opportunity to share this video to anyone that is willing to do so. Sorry, someone's posting pictures of me on DRL to the chat room. Give me a second. I'm going to share my screen here. This is freaking hilarious. So if you're not on FPV chat, you should join up. But they're posting. Ryan Gurry, one of the creative directors, is posting pictures of me on FPV chat, which is kind of funny. So anyway, thanks Ryan, appreciate that. But yeah, so I would love it if you could share this episode, because I think people will be really excited to see what's going on with the DRL Racer 3. Okay, so let's jump right into it if we go to here. Alright, so this is the main frame of the DRL Racer 3. It has one big integrated PDB, and it has a flight controller and a bunch of different component slots built into it. Okay, that's a really generic way of saying that, but that's what it is. Now, the entire power distribution board is soft mounted. You can see little rubber O-rings right here and back on the other standoffs down here. So the flight controller itself is just VHB'd, I think, to the actual power distribution board. Now you've got your camera and the spine LEDs. There's actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 big strings of LEDs that look something like this. They're actually like paper thin, but these lay across the top and plug in here, and it becomes the spine of the spine LEDs, and so that's gonna look pretty freaking awesome. All right. Now, for components, it's got a Motolabs F3 flight controller down here, and two different Polulu voltage regulators, as well as a filter, I believe. And this is going to go to your VTX. This is going to go to the Crossfire micro receiver, which is right here, which the person that built this quad last was hot glued in. So it's hard to get it out, so I left it in. So I apologize for that. Somebody's asking if there's a giveaway for the Racer 3. There isn't, unless Ryan Gurry decides that he wants to do a giveaway, in which case I would be thrilled to facilitate it. But in the meantime, no. So for electronics, these are 2206 custom made. They got the DRL logo on them and everything. 1800 kV motors. Now, 1800 kV is interesting because they're running on 5-cell batteries. They actually have these custom-made long 5-cell lipos that run this thing. Now, these are big and heavy, but running them on 1800 kV with these massive 60-40 tri-blade props generates an enormous amount of thrust, and it's actually a blast to fly. Look out tomorrow. I think I'm going to put out a Racer 3 racing video from one of my yard courses. This thing moves. So, moving on down the line, we've got the ESCs, which are RG20 plus. Now, a lot of people give me flack for, or a lot of people are immediately like, "What? 20 amp ESCs? That's bullcrap on 5X with blah 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 blah." Well, what's interesting though is because we have high kV motors, we're actually they are custom Brother Hobby motors. Because we have 1800 kV motors running at a higher voltage, the actual amp draw is pretty low, surprisingly. I mean, it's not like super low, but it's much lower than you'd expect. And as a result, you don't need as much from the ESCs. That being said, these ESCs are tested and known to go up to like freaking um, 43 amps, I think, for a short time. So doing, a 35, 40 amp burst, it really isn't anything for these. So that's totally fine. Let's see, what else we got? The VTX that they use is the TS5823, that old school Boscam receiver with the dip switches and everything, or transmitter. And these do just fine because DRL uses special receiving systems, and so they don't have to spend nearly as much money on VTXs, and I'm sure they can get these for really cheap. For antennas, on the video transmitter end, you have the Axie 2s, the left-hand version. Lumineer is a sponsor of DRL. And you have the TBS Crossfire dipole antennas for the Crossfire Micro RX. Amps go down when voltage goes up, exactly. I really want a DRL R3 just for fun. Yeah, that would be sweet. They are pretty freaking fun. Just trying to keep an eye on something else here. Cool. Okay, now, actually, let me try to pull that up at the same time. Just give me a second, I apologize. I'm just trying to get organized here. I was in a little bit of a rush to get started, and that's totally my fault. Now, okay, so we're going to go ahead and do the motors first, get those all on and soldered up. I set these apart so that I can get back to them. This is 1, and this is 4, and the other 2 are 2 and 3. I actually just got these tools at a race, the Midwest Drone Battle. These were like a raffle prize. Awesome. From Mid-America Multi-Rotor. It comes in a little kit with all of the standard things that you need in a drone repair kit. It's actually pretty awesome. Mid-America Multi-Rotor, I believe. Is the 0 to 80 in under a sec legit? Pretty much. I'm not sure if the top end is perfectly 80, but if we geared it a little bit differently, it would definitely hit 0 to 80 in a second. But yeah, they're pretty stinking peppy. So yeah, a little bit of marketing, a lot of bit of reality right there. They do change speeds very, very quickly. This quad is 980 grams because it also runs with a GoPro session on it at all times. It's actually not balanced without a GoPro on it, so you pretty much always have to have that. And so yeah, the flying weight is almost a kilogram, but you don't notice it really, honestly. Polycarbonate frame cover, yes. Oh yeah, that's the other thing I forgot to mention. So this whole thing will have a totally enclosed shell, polycarbonate, which is here. These actually last a pretty long time. They're very durable, very strong. They keep all the electronics from getting damaged. You do have to replace them fairly often, but that's not the end of the world. It takes 2 minutes to swap a canopy. Upgrade it. I'm not going to upgrade it right now. I need this to fly. I need to practice. Alright, we'll go ahead and... oh, my soldering's irons I'm not on, so I'm going to finish. You don't notice till you slam into something. Yeah, that's a good point. The extra weight does make the crashes that much more intense. Sorry, this screwdriver is actually too long for the way my camera is mounted, so I keep having to go off screen. So I apologize for that. I'm gonna kill someone when it hits them at 80 miles an hour. Yeah, but don't hit anybody. Are they conformal coated? Nothing is conformal coated as far as I know. DRL quads. DRL only flies indoors. Part partially I think because of FAA rulings, partially because they're more controlled environments. So like, you know, if we have a rain situation, it would be really frustrating to have, you know, with a bunch of expensive camera gear out and all that stuff. So. Waiting for Racer 3 clones to drop on Banggood. That's funny. Very easy to change the battery, yes. Is DRL making pilots build their own stuff now? No, they are not. I decided it would be really cool to do a DRL live stream build, so I actually took one that I had that was fully built for me, tore it apart, and now we're here building it back up, ground up, just so you can see. They all run one-shot 125 at the moment. You know what? I actually do not know the answer to that question. I have never checked. I basically got mine, set up my rates, and just started flying it right away. Wish we could get them officially. Yeah, it would be freaking cool. DRL R3 and drone drop quad box in June. Yeah, that'd be cool. I mean, they've certainly got enough of them if you've seen the pictures. The whole spacing on these is like future-proof, so that larger stator motors could fit on here if they need. And as a result, there's a little bit of play. He's gonna sneak in some upgrades. Yeah, I might. Well, I don't get to fly this one for them, so it would only hurt me to mess with it, right? Where is my electrical tape? That sucks. Okay, so underneath these, there's already a bunch of double-sided tape, and so to just hold them down in place, they put electrical tape over it, and I'm just building it the way that they do it. So, Mr. Laydrib is here. That's awesome. Welcome. Oh, know that I've ever seen you pop into one of these before. Is this your first one? You need Casey Neistat to organize your office. Yeah, that would be awesome, actually. Taking an editing break to get a sneak peek at the DRL stuff. Yeah, this is definitely... It's not so sneaky. I actually asked for permission to do this, so... Yes, they did it on their own channel yesterday, so... How sneaky could it be? The cat's out of the bag, as it were. Feel free to ask any questions about Racer 3 or anything as you want. Sharpoo showed up would be a miracle. Doing well in new that work surface. Yeah, this thing is amazing. It's like, I think it's GorillaQuads.com that you can pick it up at. They sponsored this to me long ago, actually, right when the live stream first started. So thank you to them, as always. Hopefully nothing's mislabeled on here. Wires a bit long? Yeah, they are a bit long. I'm just leaving them the length that they came. So I'm just putting some more electrical tape on. You don't want them to accidentally get in the way of the holes here, which are for the polycarbonate. So you just kind of, so you leave them a little bit long on purpose. I might have swapped the front and back ones too, because you need more wire for the back ones, obviously. How many LEDs are there? 9 big panels of them. Congrats on this Windows one drone battle. Thank you. How long have you been flying? 2 years. Is ESPN televising the races? Yes. What would you change about the frame? I wouldn't have the 3D printed camera mount. Oh yeah. So the whole front of the quad is this 3D printed thing, which is pretty cool. It holds the camera really well, actually. And I know there's a bunch of reasons why they did it. Like you have its adjustable camera height so that you can always get back to the exact tilt that you want. But this is the first thing to fall off the quad. What happens is that the whole front there's no structure in front of this. Like it's just this last thing. And the whole front of it just kind of breaks at the neck like that. And so on our practice rigs, that can get a little frustrating. Is the DRL shirt spandex? No, but it is really tight. DRL have multiple receivers all around the track? Yes. Well, they have multiple antennas. How long will this take, you think, since it's 3:26 over here? Probably an hour, hour and a half. How long have you been flying? 2 years. AIO FCDB? No, but it's a single panel PDB that has components mounted on it. Will these frames be available for purchase? Not that I'm aware of. What's gross? Who said you? They run wires. Could you paint the shell if you like? Yes. Do you think the beard makes you faster? Definitely. What's the DRL experience like for the spectator? We're still working on that. I think the industry as a whole is still working on that. But from what I can see, from the pilot's perspective, is that the audience really does enjoy it quite a bit. There's plenty of times where they're like doing the wave and cheering, and actually, yeah. Well, I don't know how much I can talk about that, but yeah, I mean, it seems like they actually do kind of enjoy the experience, right? Because normal races, it's kind of boring to watch because they're so far away and tiny and fast and no LEDs and stuff like that. With DRL, it's all a lot. Everything's just scaled up. What equipment do you wish the hobby needs that would come out sooner rather than later? Most of the things that I would change about the community are about the people, not about the equipment. I think if we all agreed on some things, like which VTX to use and whether or not LEDs should be required and what milliwatt power VTXs should run at races, those sorts of things, it would be 1,000 times better to race right now. In addition, I think we need to build an audience. Doing so will bring more money in, which will bring the opportunity for more people to start going full time, which will bring better racing, which will bring bigger community. So it's the chicken and the egg kind of situation. Like, how do we build something bigger than we already have? You should put this DRL R3 build on rotor builds. Yes, I'll do that. Good video with the new video systems. Yeah. Yeah. Hey, Paul, build night. Nice. Yep. I love the multi-GP race antenna. Good. How much does DRL pay pilots? I can't tell you. Gab, Drib. I may have missed this, but which ESCs are on the Racer 3? They're RG20+. All of the build information is in the description below. Hitman, welcome. I have an issue with the flight controller. Wondering if you guys can help me. Guys, help Jonathan S. if you could. Otherwise, Jonathan, go to fpv-chat.com, and there's a ton of pilots there that would be more than willing to help you out. All right, let's go ahead and power this up and see if we get initialization on everything. So I like doing it as we go. Let's go ahead and wire up our receiver. Are there any DRL techs in here right now? I didn't realize that this was not a standard pinout. How does that wire up? This is crazy. I didn't even notice this. So the Crossfire normally has a big pin thing on the bottom, and then a 3-pin thing on the top, and this one has a 5-pin on the top. That's really funny. So yeah, if anybody here has a Racer 3, that'd be great to if they could help out with that. Maybe somebody in FPV chats ping Guri and ask which pins the Crossfire gets plugged into. That's really funny. Oh man. Anyway, so that's powered up. If somebody could do that for me, that would be great. So now I will plug in LEDs, I think. I don't know which way around this goes, but positive will always be in the middle. Ooh, there we go. So that's the spine, that's the one in the middle. And then there's 2 sets per side of these. So this one, go there, and there. And on the other side, got here. And here. Plug that in the test. They're so bright. Oh, this isn't even my color. Dang, that's embarrassing. Take pictures when disassembling. Pro tip. Well, I was taking mental notes as I went, and I was pretty sure that I had it all right. And then I got to this stage just now and realized, oh, something is non-standard, and it's throwing me for a loop. Excuse me. But I was pretty sure that everything was standard, so that's pretty funny. My bad. Do we get the season's courses in DRL Sim as episodes air? That's a great question, and that would be awesome if we did. The frick is this, Paul? This is the DRL Racer 3, man. Okay, so those are all wired up. So now if we power this on again, it should still white and green on both sides too. Do you race with your own built Racer 3? No. Do you use the DRL Sim? Not usually. Pid drone. Hi Nurk, I got the drone hunting, herding one of my Kratos FS. I just got done herding. Oh boy, great. Do the LEDs have any modes like flashing? They don't have modes, but they do have a bunch of different colors, each of them, on one switch. Why use such a low kV? Because they have a lot of weight, and low kV is more efficient, pulling lower amps with bigger props. Do you get a pre-built Racer 3? Yes. Yeah, it's probably a lot. How much is it? How does it weigh so much? It's just big. It's huge. Big batteries, GoPro, LEDs, all that stuff. Would you be interested in a receiver and VTX in one? Probably not. Does he just... I see battery 550G max. Okay, all right, cool. So now that we got the LEDs installed, we're going to plug in, right here is the camera lead, which we'll need a little bit later. You notice that it's heavier while flying. Yes, but you don't care, because it just has so much torque to work with. It is the torquiest quad I have ever flown. Like, it's just ridiculous. In a good way. Okay, now over these three standoffs, there's this middle plate here, which lays down, upon which you can mount your video transmitter, as well as other things, but for now we're just using the video transmitter, and we've got these washers to install on it. Looks like a 210. It's 263, I believe, motor to motor. Does the canopy help with aerodynamics? A little bit, but probably not. Do you plan on getting second in DRL? I would love to get second in DRL. I'd also love to get first. Get this washer on. Not washer. Not just really skinny that. Okay, so that's locked in place. Now we can mount the video transmitter. Got some VHP here. All right, and so down here, maybe you can see that, there's a little 3D printed mount for your video transmitter lead, SMA lead to pop into, which holds it pretty well. Actually, you don't even really need those washer things. And the video transmitter can pop right on there, and then there's zip tie through holes to go around it and hold it in place without getting in the way of the I should have done this first. Without getting in the way of the dip switches. That's not long enough. Do you think the DRL trophy will be more nice than Hawaii? I think the McDonald's Happy Meal would be more nice than Hawaii. Ground power channel 1 opposite of BST port side. What powers the VTX? 200 milliwatts. This video is way better than watching someone pour M&Ms and pixie sticks on the Racer 3. Hey, those are pretty cool videos. I enjoyed them. This is a clever bit of marketing, I thought. Just something different, unique. But hey, if you like this, go tell them, and maybe we can do some more stuff. I would love to do a bunch of live stream kinds of things for DRL. Let's see. That's the problem with DRL. People won't watch FPV unless they know they can do it too. Video showing confetti was nice. Is that a TS5823? Yes. Sent you photos in Slack. Perfect. Let me pop that open. Looking at Slack. Thank you very much, Ryan. I really appreciate it. These are really fuzzy pictures. Okay, I think I see where it goes. So it should go signal side in, down here, on the very bottom, all the way to the side. Signal side out. Right there. Now if we plug it in, there we go. Now we have the initialization line. Just gonna throw this antenna on. We'll grab my radio and make sure that everything is hunky-dory with that before we get too far. Paul, did you let the dogs out? Sure. Did you bring your own transmitter and goggles? You bring neither. Notice that you get custom color-coded fat sharks, but you don't have to use a special transmitter that they provide. What could you use for Taba or Evolution? No, you have to use their given Tyrannus 9XDs or whatever. Do you think ESPN will hire Joshua Bardwell now that they fired hundreds of hosts? Don't think so. Very surprised, Mr. Buffett. You build extremely fast. I build extremely fast on air, but when I'm actually building my own rigs, I slow way down and make sure that they're all working right. So I'm plugging in my Crossfire right here, and I'm going to see if we can get this bound. For those of you that haven't seen Crossfire before, let's see. It actually has a screen on the back. And so I'm got it powered up. I'm going to boot this here. And I go over to the bind mode. Tell it to bind. Hit the bind button here. And it needs to update because the stuff on there is different than what I have here. So it's thinking, will you show us a screenshot of the PIDs and rates when you're done? Sure, yeah. I think that would be fine. Okay, we're updating. Still not totally bound yet. By this point, I probably would have pooped something. Yeah, that's how it goes, though. Them LEDs, though. Yeah, they look so good. Alright, receiver is updating itself with the new version. Don't shut down. So you can actually update the firmware of your receivers via the Crossfire. So that's what it's doing right now. We're just waiting for that. Okay, so now the update is done, and we're bound. So we can switch colors of all the LEDs. I don't know how well you can see that. So these are all, and on the bottom side they have their own colors, and then as you switch it, it switches colors. So this one is pink, like Wild Willy, and then everybody has an away color, which means that the stripe is white. So there's always a color and then a white stripe with that color, so that you can more easily on the cameras tell which one is which. So there's pink, purpley, that's blue, deep blue, teal, or like a neon, no, what's the word? Chartreuse? No, I'm just kidding. And then this is my color, this full green, and so I'll just leave it on that. And then if I arm, all right. So we are rocking and rolling. Does it run race flight or beta flight? Beta flight. You sign with DRL, do you lose your rights to race with custom quads? No. Just in DRL. You have to race with their quads. Would you recommend Crossfire for resale builds? Yeah, absolutely, actually. What kind of antenna is that? It's a dipole antenna for the Crossfire. I'm pretty sure Raceplay is running one shot 125 or whatever that one is. Okay, so up here is the camera module. Actually, we'll just install this spine while we're at it. It's got a bunch of stickiness to it already. Oh shoot, that's in the way. So this can kind of just free float here, because once we put the top on, everything will kind of mash together. Okay. So then on the camera side, we've got this, there's a little groove here that bites on to the frame and kind of holds it in place, like so. And then you have a cable that plugs into the back of the camera here. Actually, I'm going to stuff this under here a little bit. And then, like I said, we've got that adjustable camera angle thing going on, so we can change that up as we need to. So what I'll do first is I'll put the bottom shell on. So this is the bottom, and this is forward for the camera mount. And this just kind of helps me hold everything in place while I'm assembling. But yeah, like I said, I think my least favorite part about the Racer 3 is that big 3D printed front bit. To which I have complained about to them endlessly, but you know what? I don't have to build them all, so they get to do what they want with that. And then for the Crossfire, there's a hole in the top of the frame, which I've now put this on the wrong side, of course. Just pop that through, and then put the whole shell over top, like so. And then we got to put a bunch of screws on the other side. So now we can flip it over. Oh, I didn't place these very well. So these LEDs on the bottom, I accidentally put in the way of the through holes for the frame. That's fine. Yeah. And then we just have more M2 screws that go through. Doesn't even look like a good print. This is a prototype. I should have said that from the beginning. This is a prototype shell. The real shell looks way better. Hey, what's going on? There we go. Wire that's in the way here. How's the battery mounted? We'll get to that in just a second. That's a good question, though. Get some wires in the way of this hole again. There we go. It should have just been a little bit more neat while I was arranging the wires on the front, but that's what happens when you rush a build for live for the internet. This bugger. How durable is the shell? It's not the most durable thing in the world, but it protects all the electronics for as long as it needs to. Now, even with the shell on, with the LEDs installed, you can still reach all the dip switches for the VTX right here, and you can still access the bind button for the receiver right there. How many DRL Racer 3s have been destroyed so far? Somebody from DRL would have to answer that. I actually don't know. How many quads does DRL assign each pilot during the event? How many are allowed to smash before they get upset? They bring one for every single. They have one for every single pilot for every single heat. So you literally cannot run out of quads. It would be so sick if Ledriv UAV features Paul and could do more. Did a weekly show. Yeah, I do a weekly show. I mean, you've seen the DRL landings. Like, we smash into that start-finish kit at the end. Like, that doesn't let quads survive all the time. Okay, so that is a fully built DRL Racer 3. I don't have, there's also some washers that go on the tips here that I have not done because I'm lazy. But, yeah, oops, shoot. I go back around the horn here. This one's me. Okay. So somebody was asking about how the battery mounts. Oh, together? That would be awesome. I would totally do a show with them. That thing looks nice. Yeah, they are sweet. So really the battery actually just friction fits here underneath in the bottom. And it just goes in, and then it kind of combines with the TPU up front, and it just wedges in there real solid. And then, actually, I'll put it in backwards. They used to run a strap, but I think they have a new plan now, and I don't know what that is, but when I'm racing it at home, I just friction fit. So yeah, so the battery goes in there. You can't see it. It just is the drone flying through the air, which is pretty freaking cool. So, what's the all-up weight and dry weight? Let's grab a scale here. Those LEDs are so bright, I'm blind now. Yeah, they are pretty insane in the membrane. Sorry, this is bugging me. There we go. Okay. What was I going to do? I was going to weigh it. Right. Okay. So another interesting factoid. Where is my GoPro? I'll be right back. Okay, so this is my GoPro session. It's really loved. I actually just broke the screen today, and this has already been like that for a while. But so the GoPro actually goes in upside down, and you just kind of mash it in there actually. And it fits in actually really nice. And I started it, and to start and stop it, there's just a little button here that you can push to start and stop it. And then if you need to push it out, you just kind of reach in and push from the back, and the whole GoPro comes out like that. What VTX power do they run? 200 milliwatts. So the goal is to crash hard enough to eject that battery right, always. GoPro brake, yeah. The antenna is really nice, 25. I don't like this antenna very much. Let's guess the weight. And we know what the weight is. It's just about a kilogram. So this is the quad. Let's put some props on so that we have an accurate all-up weight. Some fresh ones here. Usually my props will be green on my Racer 3s, but I'm out of green ones. And all I have are these Ockbots colored ones. Which sucks if you ask me. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, okay, so we're all guessing. So somebody keep track of these so that we can... do all DRL pilots run the same props? Yes, but different colors for each. Cheers from the Dominican Republic. You have to rip again soon. If you bring me down, fly me down, I will fly with you anytime. But it's a little expensive. Can it run 7.5-inch props? No, it barely fits 6. If you look at this, like they're just barely touching. Like if this becomes mangled at all, like they will rub. And there's not a lot of clearance this way either, so. $120 grams all up? Wow, you guys are... Did you ask for permission? I did ask for permission to do this live stream. How many props does DRL have on hand for races? Literally giant boxes of them. Like, it's got to be in the tens of thousands of props. It's amazing to see it. Like, it's just a giant, it's like a pallet. Like a what's it called? Just a pallet of HQ prop boxes. It's glorious. Okay, can you see this? There we go. Okay, 3, 2, 1. 923 grams. That's actually lighter than I thought. What am I missing? 930 grams. Yeah. So that's the DRL Racer 3. We can pull out the battery and GoPro so you can see what it is without, if you want. Without battery and GoPro, it's almost 600 grams just by itself. I'm going to hijack one of the pallets. I would love a pallet of props. Do you ever race with reverse motor directions? Yes, just not on the DRL. I have a pallet of poop. Okay. That's a cool story. Do you have a mechanic that only repairs quads? If not, can I be your mechanic? If you work for free, sure. This thing looks retarded. You look retarded. I like to stick. Yeah, that poor section. That thing is pretty rough shape. If I need to ban him, I will. Okay. All right. So how about a hover test? And then we'll go through settings. Oh, that's upside down. Oh, I'm doing this whole thing upside down. I'm sorry, guys. Oh, this is terrifying. This thing is scary to fly indoors. Alright. Can you even see it? Okay, I'll be right back. Alright, you ready? It's just so terrifying. Okay, you ready for this? It's just terrifying. I wear shin guards, yeah. Okay, so somebody wanted to see settings. Well, luckily, we can look into the settings because right here is a little through hole through the sidebar to the USB. So if I grab a USB cable, hoping for a crash flip. No, I'm not going to do a flip. I actually seriously debated actually doing the hover test with this thing just because it's so freaking scary. The thing sounds stupid, like in a good way. Kill the lights and see what the LEDs look like. Everybody's like, oh my gosh, this thing is scary to fly indoors. Well, yeah, of course. I gotta fly it. Dope live stream, bro. My dogs just got scared. You could have seen a man die. I love it. Okay, so here's the desktop. Here's beta flight configurator. So, let's see. Okay. So we'll skip right to PID tuning. And because these are slow props, everything is a little bit higher than you expect. So you've got like roll at 75p, pitch at 104, and the derivative is also really high. So the P and D settings bump up to give it that higher level of control. Just yelled Jesus when you did that. It's terrifying, right? There are children in the room. Paul, what was it like to have the FPV cam up so high above the GoPro? Does that make it feel weird, harder? No, it's fine. It flies fine. Would the Racer 3 have handled the Midwest drone battle course well? I actually wish I could have flown the Racer 3 at the Midwest drone battle because it is so heavy that it would have just cut through the wind. Okay, so on the Racer 3, there are multiple rate profile settings that you can change with one of the pots on it. So on the radio, there's those knobs above the top, and you can change those. You change that knob to get one of 5 different rate banks. Now, so what that means is that you can choose which set of rate profiles you want. Now, you can't customize them, like they are a set of 5 that you have to choose from. But at the beginning of each race, you can set that knob to what you want. You can also fly it in idle up mode or in air mode. And so all of these settings are available in the firmware, as well as when you're out there on the launch pad, or whatever, launch pad? Cockpit, that's what they call it, ready to go. Why so big yaw? Because it's a big thing. Like, having yaw spin all the way around is just huge. It's so hard. Okay, so for rate profiles, this is the first rate profile, which is this stupid one, if you ask me, with a rate at 148. So there's no curve; it's just a straight line basically, with some super rate. You have rate profile 2, which is 0.85, 0.8, which is a lot more manageable, but still a little bit high for my tastes. Rate profile 3, I think, is the slowest one. At 550 degrees per second, 0.55 and 0.8, so it's very stiff, 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 and then fast. Then there's also rate profile, this is 4 equivalent, which is 1 and 0.7 for 667 degrees per second. And then there's rate profile, and then there's profile, this is 5, should be 5, nope. I don't know how to get to 5. Here, let me grab mine real quick. This is my Racer 3. The one that gets really beat up from practicing all the time. The other one is a show and tell piece that I borrowed. Okay, it's plugged in now. Connect. I'm actually going to power it so that I can show you the rate profile changes. This one doesn't have any LEDs, unfortunately. Okay. So if I go over to the PID tuning and I adjust that pot, you've got rate profile 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And this is 5. This is the one that I run. And you've got 103 RC rate and 0.66 super rate, which gives you 606 degrees per second. Ignore this yaw rate, that's just messed up, but it's actually the same. It's supposed to be, this is supposed to be 0.66, and this is supposed to be 1.03, just like the other ones. And these are actually the rates that I fly on all of my quads. And I set it up that way so that we could. So wait, has DRL already happened? We've filmed the races, but it doesn't air until June 20th. Is it pay-per-view? They're working on a pay-per-view version, something that we'll be able to stream it. What do you think DRL would say if you asked to fly in angle mode? They would say, too bad. How do I get to fly in the DRL? We have to ask Ryan Gurry if UAV features can fly next year. So you use profile 5 a lot. Huh? Law? Yes. Is there somewhere to watch the old DRL races? Not yet. They're working on it, though. UAV features move to America. Yeah, that's pretty much the right answer right there. So yeah, so I use rate profile 5. There's nothing exciting going on in modes, except there's one extra mode for switching to the LEDs. And yeah, so I mean, other than that, everything's pretty much like a normal quad that you would have. This has a bunch of different rate profile and a bunch of different LEDs to use. So that, in a nutshell, is the DRL Racer 3. Let's see. Sorry about that. So yeah, DRL Racer 3. Get yours never. Yeah, sorry. I wish it would be really cool if they had it available for sale, but at current standings, that is not the case. This is my Racer 3 color right here. It's been an awesome season. I can't wait for you guys to check out the episodes. Obviously, I can't give away any secrets as to what's going on. But if you guys have any other questions right now, I'd be happy to answer those. Otherwise, I'd like to do a Q&A video sometime in the not-so-distant future, just to be able to answer any questions that you guys have. So this is the DRL Racer 3, and this has been the FPV live stream. So I'll stick around for a few minutes if you guys have any questions. Giveaway on this build. Not unless Ryan Gurry wants to give one away. This is my DRL, well, one of my DRL hats too, that I've been wearing backwards all day long, or all stream long. Any questions? Push them on my quad when I get with 6 front throttle. Need orientation that flips. Something's wrong with your ESCs or motor, probably. When does the first race air? June 20th, correct. Giveaway in this build? No. This is mine. How was the pressure flying DRL versus a normal race? Surprisingly hard. It was, it took me by surprise. I thought I was going to be able to handle it, and it was surprising, very surprising. How much cost start to finish? Probably $600. What's your opinion on split level quad frames? What's a split level quad frame? How many DRL races have you exploded? Probably not that many. Well, less than 10. How far are you from Knoxville? 4 or 5 hours, I think. Pretty excited for DRL. It honestly got me into the hobby. Shoot me a contact on my website. I want to talk to you more about that. Do you have DRL beard for your quad? Yes, but you can't see it. 6-inch props? Yes. You need to make your NERC logo a Nike throwback. What's that? This has been a good watch. I like your style. Thank you. Everybody should come back next week. DRL Racer 3s explode like the R2s. Not really. Did Tommy and Steele ever race in DRL? No. Were you forced to change your handle due to trademark issues? Not forced, but yes. Can you confirm coding on the USB port? Not on the inside, but on the outside. Will you go fly it now for fun? Not right this second, but I do all the time. You get the 3-inch frames from last week sorted out? No, not yet. I'm waiting on flight controllers. Do the pilots talk smack to each other while racing? Absolutely. If you spoil the season, what would they do to you? Fire me, and I wouldn't get paid. How many grams of thrust do you think you can get with the DRL Racer? 8 kilograms. How much cost start to finish? It's probably $600, maybe a little bit less. Closer racing than normal races? Yes, absolutely. It's neck and neck every single race. Thanks, brother. Learned a lot this week. Thank you. Glad you did. How much longer until vlog footage from Midwest Drone Battle V2? Shout out to White Noise for making you earn it. That will be on Friday, so look for that video on Friday. Do you get along with the other DRL pilots? I kind of hate Jaws, but other than that, everybody's pretty cool. No, I'm just kidding. I make drone racing frames. If I send you one, will you build it? Yes. Reach out to me via my website, paulnercola.com, which is available right there. How long to grow that beard? 3 months, 4 months, maybe a little longer. Is Joshua Barwell tuning your quads? No, I tune his quads. How much time did you have to race with the Racer 3 before the race? The first race, I had it for about 2 months. 2 months before our first race. Are you going to fly in circus? No. I have a Vortex 150 under high throttle. It has a violent shake. Can't say if it's pitch or roll. It's very fast. It's probably your D term. But I'd say just start tuning everything down a little bit until that goes away. Maybe add some TPA. Will you be on ESPN? Yes. I am a Sofa King retarded. Okay. Split level frames where the rear motors are above the front. Like, no, I don't like them. I like my normal configuration. That flood was crazy. I'm in Arkansas. Our river raised nearly 35 feet. Do you think we would ever come to Arkansas? Yeah, to fly a flooded river for sure. Are you concerned they make FPV without line of sight legal? No. Can you fit a Volcore inside a DRL3 shell? Not quite. Do you ever freestyle tracks, and will we see it? Can I get a shout out? You mean DRL? No, we don't usually freestyle the DRL tracks. They did once last season. I think they did once this season too. I didn't get to do it because they have a limit on those things. Can I get a shout out? Shout out to Random FPV. Is this faster or slower quad than a spec Kratos? It's definitely slower, but it's probably got more bite in the turns. I will buy your Racer 3 for $5,000. Reach out to my website. That ceiling fan on Clean Flight or Beta? It's actually running base flight. You totally destroy one yet? Definitely. Dang, I'm late, Gur. Who's this dork with the stupid looking beard? I don't know. How many batteries do they give you to practice? Like 4 or 5, but they give you a couple each race you go to. So I'm up to 12 now, I think, something like that. What rate profile does the Gorilla use? Whichever one you want, baby. Sweet, I've not messed with D-term, thanks. Props to a well-put together live stream, thank you. Doing more in the future. Oh, yeah, well, I've still got people here. So this FPV live stream, if you're a first-time guest, I do this every Wednesday at 9 o'clock Eastern Time. So starting an hour and a half ago, every Wednesday, we will do something. Next week, I'm not sure exactly what we're going to do. I've got a couple things in the works. If you have come to the past and not received your giveaway stuff yet, I'm still working on that. I apologize, I'm really lazy, but they are coming. And if you are a returning guest, thank you so much for coming by. I really appreciate you coming back. I support your patronage and everything. And finally, if you're a vendor and you want to show something off, contact me via my website, paulnercola.com, which is right there again, and we'll make something happen. I'm going back. Props. How many pilots are in season 3? 16. How long have you been flying quads? 2 years. What products do you use in your beard? I subscribe to Dollar Beard Club. Is it a good bib for food? No. Do you like the feel of tilt rotors? I have no idea. I've never flown one. Will you upload this live stream with comments? It will be uploaded tomorrow, I think, or sometime late tonight. You'll be able to go to it. These comments will not show up, but you'll be able to comment on that video. There was like 2 feet clearance from our bridge to the water. I would never have the balls to power leap it. Well, that's why you just got to go for it sometimes. It's like he's my brother or something, this dork with a stupid looking beard. Yeah, at least my beard's better than you, David. And yes, that is my brother. Ceiling fan running base flight, I thought you knew better. Our X-Hover 2206-2360, any good? Sound fine. Could be, copy that. DRL, gonna get insurance of what we talked about the other day with the phone, so didn't miss much. Oh. Where do babies come from? When 2 drones really love each other. Can you stream flight footage from your GoPro? No? Who is the coolest DRL pilot you competed against? All of them. How many quads have you built so far? In the hundreds somewhere? I don't know. Okay, so that's going to wrap it up. So all of this will be available tomorrow. Check it out if you want to go back and rewatch any of it. Thank you so much again for stopping by. Something just fell over there. I appreciate everybody, each and every one of you. Thank you so much. But yeah, so this is the FPV live stream. Again, weekly show, 9 o'clock. Thank you so much to DRL for letting me do a weekly build using the Racer 3. I hope you guys loved being able to see that and what's going on. Next week, we'll be doing one of a few things, but I'm going to kind of keep those cards close to my chest so that I can share information as I know it. So thank you very much for stopping by. Have an awesome night and a great rest of the week, and stay flying.